Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Niger is standing strong, and the leadership in Niamey is sending a clear message to the world. They are not waiting around for anyone's pity. They have decided to take a bold step following the major security event at the capital's main airport on Thursday, June 18, 2026. The government moved with extreme speed. They didn't just push back the attackers. They took a massive political step. The government has completely suspended the operations of all international non-governmental organizations operating within the country. People are asking why it took Niger this long to take this decision. This decision should not shock anyone who understand the modern Sahel. The real question should be why it took Niger this long to close these back doors completely. For years, major security incidents have repeatedly targeted the exact same high-value spot in the capital. You have to ask yourself, how do these T groups always seem to know the exact timing, the weak points, and then the moments when guard forces are rotating? Many of these Western-funded organizations have not acted as true friends to Niger or the entire region. In reality, too many of them have functioned as intelligence collection windows on the ground. They create a parallel system that can easily funnel cash, resources, and logistics to the non-state actors and G networks. These are the same networks that try to launch surprise operations against state infrastructure under the cover of darkness. By cutting off these operations, Niger is shutting down the hidden networks or the eyes that compromise national defense. It is a bold, necessary move that is long overdue. We're expecting it to happen long before now. Welcome back to the channel. We look at the facts with hard strategic analysis. If you want to see the continent on its own feet, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on all your notifications so you never miss our daily deep dives. The picture on the ground in Niamey is now becoming very clear. In the hours right after the airport incident, many details were still up in the air. Now the dust has settled, we cannot see clear, and the exact facts are on the table. Let's break down exactly what we know for now. First, we now have a clear answer on who was behind this operation. The insurgent group known as the GNIM, which is the main branch of Al-Qaeda operating across the Sahel region, has officially claimed responsibility. They issued a formal statement taking ownership of the coordinated assault on the Diori Hamani International Airport and the military facilities right next to it. The mystery is gone. The enemy has shown their face. We have the official casualty data from the Ministry of National Defense. Early media reports were full of wild and confirmed numbers, with some claiming over 35 deaths and the like, But the verified truth read out on national television paints a heavy but precise picture. On the side of the state, 11 courageous soldiers lost their lives defending the perimeter, and 2 civilians were unalived. 4 other individuals were wounded. These 30 citizens are not just numbers on a page. They are heroes who stood between a hostile force and a sleeping capital city. On the side of the attackers, the state forces neutralized 22 insurgents during the firefight. More importantly, security forces captured 20 attackers alive. They are now sitting in a maximum security custody. If you add those numbers up, 22 neutralized and 20 captured, you see that the insurgent force was exactly 40 men. This was not a small, random band of fighters with local complaints. This was a heavy funded, highly organized commando unit sent to seize a capital city's most critical asset. But the state architecture held. The final result was a massive tactical failure for the planners. The airport remains completely operational and air traffic is moving normally. Things are back to normal. The operational details show a major shift in how these groups are forced to fight. Usually, across the Sahel, these insurgents groups move in massive columns of motorcycles to overwhelm remote outposts. They couldn't do that this time because of tight security rings around the capital. The 42 attackers had to arrive at a security checkpoint near the airport inside ordinary civilian taxis. They tried to blend completely into the early morning, commuter traffic, but the deception failed the moment they reached the checkpoint. They hit an immediate wall of resistance from the guard forces. A heavy, intense firefight broke out and lasted for 2 hours until the military completely locked down the sector and destroyed the unit. Look at the scale of the state's total response. The NGO shutdown is just one pillar of a much larger security upgrade. The government has completely hardened the entire capital. Elite security units have reinforced the perimeters of the residential palace, the Prime Minister's office, and every single sensitive government building in Niamey. Even international bodies like the African Union have been forced to condemn the raid while praising the rapid, decisive response of Niger's armed forces. Niger is not retreating. It is locking its gaze, tightening its lines, and building a fortress. Let us go deeper into the core of the story. Why does this specific airport keep drawing enemy fire? Why is Diori Hamani International Airport the ultimate prize for these armed networks? To understand this, we must look at the geography and the strategic infrastructure. The airport is located just 10 kilometers from the absolute center of Niamey, a very short drive from the seat of presidential power. It is built right against the fabric of the capital city. But this is not just a place where commercial activities like passengers, planes land. Right next to the civilian runway lies Air Base 101. This base is the absolute heart of Niger's air power. It is where the military keeps its combat aircraft, and most importantly, its fleet of advanced reconnaissance and strike drones. These drones are the eyes of the state. They allow Niger to monitor its vast borders, track insurgent movements, and launch precision strikes deep in the desert. Furthermore, this exact base now serves as the centralized headquarters for the new Joint Military Command of the Alliance of Sahel States. The AES alliance between Niger Burkina Faso, and Mali. Therefore, an attack on this airport is an attempt to blind the eyes of all three nations. If you can knock out the drones, destroy the aircraft, and disrupt the Joint Command Center, you don't just embarrass one government. You fracture the entire collective security shield of the Sahel Alliance. That is why the planners are obsessed with this target. But there is another massive factor sitting on that tarmac, the uranium. Since last year, a massive stockpile of more than 1,000 tons of highly concentrated uranium, known as the yellow cake, has been sitting packed at this very airport. This value cargo is loaded onto transport trucks that have not moved an inch. This uranium was brought down from the elite mines in the north after the government took control of its natural resources back from the French state-owned company Orano. Niger maintains that this mineral wealth belongs to its people to sell to any global partner they choose on their own terms. Orano has disputed this move, claiming the stockpile is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And they have issued warnings to an international buyers looking to purchase it. So right now, over 1,000 tons of one of the most strategic energy resources on earth is sitting exposed at the exact airport that has now been struck twice in less than 5 months. Once you see these pieces on the board, you realize this is not a local security issue. This is a high-stake battle over regional power and global wealth. Now, let's examine how Niger defense upgrades actually saved the capital from a historic disaster. A country is defined by how it responds to pressure. After a previous security incident at this airport, the military leadership did not just hope for the best. They took decisive actions in order to protect the place. Unlike those in the democratic elected who would have sat down calling on international and signing security pacts, Niger has taken a decisive move in order to protect their resources. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Niger.